Oda, can we react to KemQ's video? KemQ. Cyber criminals that never got caught until now. 24 minutes long.
Despite the wondrous fun to be had on RuneScape, it's also known to host a group of some of the world's most obnoxious and sadistic cyber criminals. And no, I'm not just talking about the Duel Arena scammers. From being one of RuneScape's first multi-combat clans, to winning the old school RuneScape Jagex Cup, to committing cyber attacks, death threats, player hackings.
What are you talking about? You have issues.
Your son has issues.
Alone.
Your son has issues, and I won't leave you alone, ever.
And allegations of a corrupt man on the inside of the game company itself to help cover it all up. This is the story of how video game cyber criminals got away with countless crimes. That was, until they didn't. The first sightings of Reign of Terror date back to 2004, where it briefly existed in the pay-to-play wilderness multi-combat scene. What is Rot? This is Deadbotting, leader of another clan called Lit. He's been in the RuneScape clanning scene for a long time, and unfortunately has had a lot of interactions with Rot.
Rot is a main clan. They played RuneScape back in pre-OC. I think they opened in like 2004, 2005, like generally when most of like the other like legacy clans opened, I guess.
Eventually, officials of Rot migrated to other clans to play in the free-to-play multi-combat scene, which was more popular at the time. So the Rot clan actually closed down in 2006. However, about a month later, two clan officials Titus and Hotshot would revive the clan and bring along members from another clan named Violet Resolution. So the clan Reign of Terror was reinvigorated and would stay active and fight in the pay-to-play wilderness until the removal of the wilderness on December 10th, 2007. This caused a lot of the members to retire and ultimately never come back. The rest of the active members focused on the other niche areas of the game, like free-to-play Castle Wars for a brief period, and the clan saw a spike of activity on the release of PvP Worlds in 2008. However, things never really went back to the way they were in 2007. People just seemed uninterested with the game, even with the Wilderness's eventual return in 2011, where the damage had already been done. This would be until February of 2013. Jagex announced a poll for the players, and that poll was for the game we now know as old school RuneScape. The poll was for RuneScape to be released in its 2007 form, and depending on how many votes it received, it would determine the level of maintenance the game would receive. It ended up passing with the second highest level of maintenance. Old school RuneScape opened their doors on the 22nd of February 2013, and this led to Rot opening their doors again as well. Matt and Haas returned to lead the clan alongside other notable names including 3-Hit Ko-Yu and Brian289. The clan got to training and eventually started offering permanent memberships in their clan on an invite basis. This is when recruitment for Rot really sprang into action. With Rot spending the most hours training their accounts, they were significantly ahead of other clans, and that gave them a competitive edge. And it wasn't for nothing, because just 8 months after the game's release, Jagex held the first old school RuneScape version of the Jagex Cup. Back then, there were no dedicated servers or worlds that allowed players to get max stats and any items they wanted. Players had to fight each other with the stats they had trained up and the gear they had collected by that time. And the clan Reign of Terror would end up winning 5 out of the 6 total championships. This gained them their first bit of notoriety in the old school RuneScape community. Eventually, the final Jagex Cup happened near the end of 2015. With Rot once again coming out victorious. But the difference this time was that Jagex was broadcasting this event, which was the first time they had done so. They weren't hated at this time or even viewed as controversial. That was until the release of Deadman Mode. On October 29th, 2015, the first Deadman Mode was released. Deadman Mode quickly revolutionized the PvP scene in RuneScape as a whole. Rot became dominant in the PvP event and also at this time started to become controversial, oftentimes being very cruel and immature to people that they killed in the tournament. And while this started to garner them a little bit of a toxic reputation in the community, this was nothing out of the ordinary for a lot of the multi-clans at the time. But the first accusations of cheating—
Skill specs dying, nothing new, huh? You had to find the skill specs one. Come on, dude, we're sick of this shit.
Started around this time as well. In 2016, Jagex hosted their first ever Deadman Mode tournament, with real-life cash prizes up for grabs. The last player standing by the end of the tournament would receive a cash prize of $10,000. Prizes like this were previously unheard of, so many players were excited to participate and compete in order to win the cash prize. Would it go to a clan with a lot of people teamed together, or would it go to a solo player who was trying their hands at the game mode? Whenever the tournament started, at first it seemed as if everything was going smoothly. However, with there only being one available world during the tournament, it would be hard to hide any bot farms operating. And throughout multiple Deadman Mode tournaments, people were quick to find bots at the Giant Mole. And players alleged that these bots were owned by Reign of Terror, the first time they've been accused of cheating in the RuneScape sphere. But eventually this would just be the tip of the iceberg for Rot's crimes against Deadman Mode. They'd soon be accused of DDoSing, cyber attacks against Jagex's own servers, and doxing of rivals' family members, and also how they eventually got caught. And when they were, the punishment would be deeply felt across their entire clan.
I hope ChemQ gave us respect, and we were the cause of this, by the way. I want everybody to know that. We were the cause of Rot getting caught. I want you guys all to know that. We're going to take responsibility. Yeah, we did. That was all our community. Okay, and then everybody started hopping on the bandwagon after we started the controversy and how we were exposing them and all that. Yeah, just like the Trident situation. Just saying.
They were even accused of getting people's IP addresses by simply sending messages through Twitch whispers. Supposedly, if they got you to go to their Twitch profile, a Twitch panel they added could instantly get your IP address. Thanks for NordVPN for supporting this channel and adding an extra layer of protection. VPN is simple, requiring the player to pray melee against its attacks and to locate it after it digs underground. Now this seems like a really random boss to bot. However, let's take a look at what the mole drops. The drop we are focused on here is the mole skins and mole claws. These can be traded in with Wyson the Gardener in order to get bird's nests. Bird's nests can be crushed up into crushed nests, which are the secondary ingredient required to make Saradomin brews, the highest healing food in the game and invaluable during the tournament. Keep in mind, Fossil Island alongside birdhouses didn't come out until 2017. So doing birdhouse runs for these ingredients was off the table. Seeing how Zulrah was disabled during Deadman Mode, the only ways of receiving bird's nest was through woodcutting and getting them randomly, or by killing the giant mole and trading in the mole parts to Wyson. This would imply that the clan Rot would have control of most of the brews, the most powerful food in the—
What the fucker? Wait, chat, let's look what we have here. We have a guy called Mazar. We all know him, right? Mazar, the janitor. He has 2 pair pot, stamina, range pot, 3 brews. He has a maid setup. 3 brews. Where's the super restores, though? Now, gentlemen, if we think about this logically, right? He can't even cast any more spells after the first dose. Maybe Blitz if he has 99. What the heller? What the Helen Keller? What is that?
The game. These bots would not only kill the boss in order to get the nests, but the bots would also scout the cave for any player who dared enter them, and kill those players. It's a multi-combat zone, so those players didn't stand a chance against the horde of bots. And Deadman tournaments only lasted for 1 week at a time, so this made brews almost impossible for everyone else to get in the tournament. And this wasn't information that was too secretive either. Most, if not all people who were actively involved in the clanning scene knew of Rot's connection with those bots.
The joke was that Rot was so rampantly botting the giant mole under Falador because that was like the only way to get brews back then. There was only 5 days to train, and the best way to get brews was to kill giant mole. So they would have accounts sitting down there with dorgies and full monk ropes, and they would just sit there botting mole. So it became like an ongoing joke with like Rot and mole, and I think that's really like the beginning. That's like the first documented cheating that Rot actually ever did on DMM.
This caused a lot of problems since there was real money on the line. Rot locking down brews was very effective. Most clans couldn't even get their hands on brews at all, as there was none being sold on the Grand Exchange. And the ones that were being sold for absurd prices. It wouldn't be until the 3rd official Deadman Invitational that Rot would claim their first Deadman Mode win. And this taste of victory made them ravenous. Deadman Mode wasn't the only competition which Rot encountered, and would soon also find themselves in a skilling competition controversy. King of the Skill was a temporary game mode where players competed to gain the most experience in 24 hours of gameplay. For the whole month of November 2017, any account with membership would be able to log into dedicated game servers and compete with other players to gain the most experience in a skill, or the highest total level. Winners in each category would receive lifetime RuneScape membership as a reward, as well as a limited edition old school RuneScape gaming PC from a company called Chill Blast. For the most part, the competition was received well, with notable names like Wooks taking part and winning the total level category of the competition. However, there were at least a few categories of the competition that were a little fishy. Tom DeBomb, also known as Korean Girl, was first in the fishing category nearing the end of the competition. Now, this person is a very high-ranked RuneScape player, and they publicly advertised themselves as a member of Reign of Terror. Well, throughout the King of the Skill competition, Tom DeBomb would retain his first place until another competitor started going for first place as well. They were on rate to pass Tom DeBomb in fishing, but after a while, when it was clear this player was going to pass Tom DeBomb, that person started experiencing disconnections anytime they tried logging on, and anytime they would log on and disconnect, their timer would go down by 1 minute, effectively ruining any chance they had of surpassing rank 1 Tom DeBomb.
What a coincidence, huh? What a coincidence.
Also with the same guy, this Tom DeBomb guy who's ranked 5, there was this competition, some of you might remember, called King of the Skill. Korean Girl, Tom DeBomb, he had rank 1 on King of the Skill for fishing. So remember how it would be you get to log in for 24 hours and you get the most XP in the skill, get lifetime membership. There was a guy that was going to pass him, right? He was going at like a better rate than Tom DeBomb was. Like he was going to pass him. There was only like a few days left of this like event or whatever, right? This guy was like 20 hours in and he was way ahead of the curve and he was about to pass Tom DeBomb on the high scores, and Rot just started frying this guy. Like this is back when Jed was still working for Jagex. They just started frying this guy. And every time he would log in, they just fry him. So he would lose a minute on the, you know how it would like count down from 24 hours? And every time you log out, you lose like a minute?
I'm not gonna lie, that's so tilting though. Because they had Jed on the inside back then too. And then imagine like you just grinding for days on end to try to like get rank 1 so you could get a prize. And then this whole clan just has the power just to DDoS you every fucking 2 seconds to ruin all your chances. All your hard work just tarnished, gone.
On the thing. Yeah, he would just lose a minute every time, or like multiple minutes, because he's like lagging, like DCing, right? And they pretty much did this until he like lost, and he like didn't beat Tom DeBomb.
And this was during the time where Mod Jed was still a Jagex moderator. If you don't know who he is, he's a former Jagex mod who was also a member of the clan.
Mod Jed just looks like a fucking retard. Like, not even trying to be a dickhead. Like, you could just tell, like, he takes it up the ass, like, for sure. Like, look at the way he looks, bro. Like, come on now. Like, Mod Jed just looks like he was up to no good.
Reign of Terror. Jed stopped working at Jagex in 2018 and has since been investigated by several authorities. And a short while after his termination, players who had lost billions of gold due to being allegedly hacked by Mod Jed were refunded. According to former mod Matt K, he was allegedly going into the Jagex bathroom and approving false account recovery applications, stealing wealth off of players with banks in the tens of billions of gold. Like this example, where a player had 46 billion GP refunded to them. But going back to Tom DeBomb, not only were his rivals in the King of the Skill tournament being DDoSed, but so were his opponents in the Deadman Mode finale. And trust me, there's more to talk about with Tom DeBomb.
That's so crazy that Mod Jed was DDoSing like Rot's opponents in the 1v1s. So like they win every single round no matter what.
Tom is rank 5 in the entire game. That's right, he has 200 mil in every skill. This is one of the highest profile accounts in all of RuneScape and has so blatantly benefited from illicit activity. During the Jagex hosted PvP Championship in 2017, there was a matchup between Reign of Terror and Sanity for the 20 versus 20 part of the competition. During the matchup, everything starts out smoothly, but then Sanity members started disconnecting out of the game one by one, and eventually they lost with Rot taking the win in a 2-0 victory.
What a coincidence, huh? Wow.
In another instance, the Lit clan was doing very well in the 2017 Deadman Mode tournament finale with the Islands. They locked down 2 of the 4 islands, but then a JMod told them they were, quote, taking too long, so they were all insta-killed. This was while Mod Jed was still working at the company. But DDoSing was not the only thing Rot was being accused of. Soon, allegations of doxing other players would come to light. Over the years, Rot would become infamous for doxing their enemies, and simply players they didn't like. This involved leaking things such as personal and sensitive information of their enemies that was not limited to just names, but also addresses, places of work, and even personal information of the person's friends and family.
I'm not gonna lie, they're so cringe though. Like, I don't know how they think that this is like, I don't know, I guess it gets to other people, but this shit would never get to me, right? Like, look what they're typing. Yo, how'd your sister's jaw surgery go? Pics don't look good. Like, they're just so cringe. You could just tell by the way they type. Like, everybody type it at the same time. Be ready to type it. 1, 2, 3, spam, spam, spam.
Addresses, places of work, and even personal information of the person's friends and family. And of course, for the privacy and protection of these people, we've blurred out the names on screen here. Rot wasn't scared to dox people, and this wasn't rare for them to do. Rot is putting people's information in the chat, like this player's first and last name. But not only did they expose this player's full name, they've taken it a step further. They're bragging about getting the player's mother fired from her job, and they didn't hesitate doxing his mom in the process. Doxing isn't all, they spread hate in all kinds of ways. But even worse than that, Rot catfished a person they seemed to have some sort of grudge against. They then posted revenge content of this individual on the official Rot Twitter page. To them, this isn't just a video game. Whereas you and I understand there are lines you simply don't cross, these people, they don't get it. I mean, this act alone is illegal, but it's still up on their official Twitter page. And you can find similar stuff on their official YouTube channel too.
Bro, you guys saw what they were doing to me. They were claiming that I'm a misogynist and I hit Serena and I'm a woman hater and I'm a Diddy as well, like I fuck children and I was talking to underage women and this and that. Wallah, they were and then they deleted their Twitter because they're pussy. I told them that I could go ban for ban. Let's go. Slander, defamation. Let's go, little bro. They deleted their Twitter immediately after that. Immediately.
This behavior has continued to get worse, and with time, Rot's reputation got worse with it. They've gone way beyond any other clan in the RuneScape scene. For nearly a decade, people have been petitioning Jagex to take action against the clan. And as the years went on, further allegations of DDoSing, doxing, and other toxic behavior would continue. But somehow, Rot would always seem to get away with everything they were doing, and the community was sick of it. Sure, there were clearly illicit activities and cyber-
No, you better give me my community credit. I swear to God, because we were the main thing. If we didn't do this, none of the thing would have happened to Rot. I swear to God, Kem, don't piss me off.
Crimes going on. But for Jagex, those activities were difficult to point back to Rot. Even though it was the case that all of Rot's opponents happened to disconnect, Jagex couldn't prove it was Rot DDoSing the opponents with 100% certainty. But even if they could, there was someone behind the scenes on their side to protect them. And so they got away with it every time. Throughout the years, Rot would find itself in more controversies, whether being toxic, botting a certain location, or allegedly DDoSing people during the final hour. They always seemed to evade justice. And as the series of Deadman tournaments took place, Rot always seemed to be a talking point. Well, after many years, Jagex would host Deadman Mode Armageddon, which took place on July 19th, 2024 and lasted until 3rd of August 2024. Rot would once again face controversy, but would ultimately meet a different end. The Deadman Mode Armageddon finale was unique in the sense that it had 5 separate combat brackets and various NPCs spawning to damage players during the final hour. As opposed to previous Deadmans, there would be no 1 versus 1 stage, and the winner would be determined on a last man standing basis. Servers have improved over the years, so DDoSing isn't as much of a threat. Corrupt JMods have been purged from the company, and it's generally harder to cheat without the 1v1 bracket format. So how would Rot win this time? Fortunately, they slipped up and revealed their hand. Players noticed a hive of bots that would follow and callously attack players. They were dressed the same and found in several of the finale servers, each in a different combat bracket. People had their suspicions that these bots belonged to Rot. However, there was no concrete proof of this. That was until I ran an investigation with other team members at the RuneScape Chronicles YouTube channel. And what we uncovered was undeniable proof of these ragging bots being not only found in official Rot clan chats, but being ranked in them as well. Meaning Rot owned these bots and were knowingly using them to their advantage. Player outcry led to the winners of the Deadman Mode Armageddon to be examined and re-evaluated for the next coming weeks. And players waited an update from Jagex regarding the true winners and what was going to be done about Rot in light of this new evidence. Instead of a hasty ban of only the bots, Jagex conducted an expensive 3-week investigation into rule-breaking activity, sending a message about their new precedent and stance against people messing with their competitions. And so on the morning of August 27th, 2024, Jagex coordinated a mass ban on one group of players, the clan Reign of Terror. suddenly their main accounts were getting banned one by one. Mod Blighted went into Rot's clan, took ownership of it, and wiped out all of the members of the clan. And players were able to watch their accounts get deleted in real time. The number just kept continuously going down and down. On that day, at least 204 accounts received bans, totaling 344 between this ban wave and a ban wave that happened on August 7th. These bans were not just on low-level accounts. Rot lost a lot in this ban wave. Take for instance this clip from Network where he gets PK'd by Rot. Doofy in that pile is now banned, DocuSign too, and also Fishy Cracker. In fact, all of these accounts are now banned. But that's not all Rot lost out on, because it seems they lost a lot of wealth with these bans as well.
All your accounts just got banned with like over $1 trillion worth of value. Like they lost like 300 bill plus worth of rare names. They lost like 500 bill plus worth of like gear. The Rot account, like just ROT, that account, had 50 bill plus on it. Just that account alone. Their bank account, their Rot Mule account,
Wow.
had 50 bill 07 on it. Just that account alone. And they lost 300 accounts. 500 total if you include the ones that JX banned before, right?
Of the 300 plus members that were in the Rot clan chat and were a part of Rot, over 230 of them are not findable on the high scores, meaning those accounts got permanent bans. A massive 1 trillion GP loss. Like he said, GP isn't the only thing that Rot lost with these bans. Very notable accounts were banned. Remember Tom DeBomb, rank 5 in the game? He benefited from other people getting DDoSed several times. Well, their main account is permanently banned, removed from the high scores. Congrats to Kerry Bowler for making the front page. Now, Tom DeBomb claims he did nothing wrong, but many on Reddit were quick to point out that when they played in previous Deadman Mode tournaments, all 5 of their 1v1 opponents coincidentally disconnected.
Well, they're so shameless. They didn't even try to make it semi-doable, like, yo, this guy has bad gear, let me try to beat him legit, and if I don't, DDoS him. Like, they literally just DDoSed him from the start, like all 5 of them back to back. Like, they didn't even think about, like, maybe like, oh, yo, I could take this guy looks like he's ass. No, they just DDoSed him from the start.
Rania, aka Tom DeBomb, aka Korean Girl, was in one of the tournaments where all of the people he fought just magically DC'd one by one, but he never DC'd. It was only the people he was fighting, and we have documented proof of that.
Or how about another Rot member that got banned that goes by a Lartotal on X? They claim they're innocent in this. They were simply in the wrong clan chat at the wrong time. But after we did some more investigation, it seems that this person is seen in Reign of Terror videos backstabbing a new member of the Rot clan, and even joining in on some Rot chants too. Perhaps not so innocent after all. And it seems the rank 8 Ultimate Iron Man was also banned from the high scores. And take a look at this. The Old School team has gone so far as to revoke their win of the Old School Clan Cup. Their opponents had disconnected in that championship, and so Rot now has been all but wiped clean in Old School RuneScape. Rot had taken ownership of some very rare names.
Oh, I didn't
Look
even know
at
that,
these
by the way. I didn't know they got that revoked. Sit down. Sit down, idiot, sit down.
RuneScape names. They are super rare and sell for hundreds of billions of GP. Or they would, if they weren't all banned. So after a 1 trillion GP loss and the entire clan exterminated, some people thought this was it. The end of Reign of Terror. However, a few days later, Rot was quick to make new accounts and become reformed. A Reddit user posted a sighting of a lot of new players on Tutorial Island, with the player model that is notable for members of Rot. And then, hours later, a video from the official Reign of Terror account would be released titled From Darkness to Light, the redemption of a reformed clan. And after learning a hard lesson from the anti-cheat team, turning away from their toxic ways. However, many players were quick to call them out.
No, I don't think they'll stop breaking the rules until, JX pretty much show that they have actually a 0 tolerance. I don't know if JX will ban their med levels or whatever, that they're botting. We've reported them all. I don't know if JX will continue to, ban the Rock Eyes as they try to play DMM or try to play 07 or what.
Guys, I don't want you guys to believe a word they're saying. This is propaganda. This is BS. Let me tell you why, because I have insider information that they all bought new accounts. They're just trying to act like they didn't. Nice try, Ra. I know people that told me this information.
Despite Rot's history of cheating and their
Nice
toxic
try.
behavior
Nice try,
in the
idiots.
community,
Nice try.
and despite getting away with this behavior
NT.
for almost
NT,
a
idiot.
decade,
NT.
Jagex finally put their foot down and showed the
Nice try.
community that cheaters and bad actors will be punished. And with more attentiveness to the game and without corrupt Jagex moderators behind the scenes, Rot cannot get away with these things as easily as they once could. Players are hoping more action will be taken to snuff out the clan once and for all. Players want Rot's website and Discord server taken down. Theoretically, Jagex could leverage their legal team to make this happen. But so far, Jagex has admitted the problem and dealt a crushing blow to the clan. And so at least
You
players
know what's funny? You see Deadbotting over here? Like he's the leader of like Lit or whatever, right? Bro, all these clans do some weird like shady shit. And he's just like, hey guys, guy in the video here. I'm glad the scumbags got purged from the game. Like bro's acting like he's never done anything in the clan to me. Like, boy, shut your ass up. Bro's acting all innocent. Like, shut your ass up, bro.